everybody. This is Lisa Kessler from Kessler Insurance, and I'm here today on behalf of my favorite thing to do, Cheers for Charity New Hampshire. And I get to do this with my dear friend, Joanne Burchuck. Hey, Joanne.
Hi, I'm Joanne Burchuck. I'm with Lighthouse Physical Therapy. And yes, my favorite thing too, Lisa, is doing these little interviews and getting to know more and more nonprofits in our area. So we would like to welcome today Marcy from the Fabulous Find in Kittery, and love your little store there. And please jump on, introduce yourself, and tell us all about it.
Okay. I am Marcy Philbrook, president of the board of directors at the Fabulous Find. We are a nonprofit resale boutique in Kittery on Route 1 near the traffic circle. We started 10 years ago with a bunch of women who had an idea about having a thrift store that was a cut above. As our manager and co-founder put it, she wanted something that was in between a thrift store and a consignment store, antique store, and with better quality, more curated items. And it just took off. It just took off. We started out in a sublease in 2010, and when we were setting up and screwing in shelves, we'd have people knocking on the door asking what we were doing. And, they heard that we were opening a store, and a lot of them arrived with bags to donate. And while they were donating, they say, well, can I buy that? And it was just a success from day one. It was just amazing. And so basically what our model is we, instead of giving all of our profits to one other nonprofit, as many other resale boutiques or thrift stores that benefit certain charities only, we do the whole spectrum of different nonprofits that help our community. So we give to the environment, to animals, women and children, food pantries, fuel assistance, cultural things in our neighborhoods, antique houses, land trusts, arts organizations, all of those things. And we decide on different nonprofits each month. We kind of sprinkle it around and don't repeat people too often. And they partner with us in their month. So let's say the board of directors decides on 3 different organizations that are going to be in the month of October. We let them know ahead of time, and they know to put on their websites and their newsletters and get the word out that the month of October is benefiting their organization. And the more they help us, the more their people get the word out and beat the bushes and bring in wonderful things for us to sell and get shoppers in, the more our sales are driven up. And then we just basically take our sales at the end of the month, subtract our payroll and expenses, and the rest is theirs. So they have good incentive to spread the word. And that was kind of our secret from the beginning, because we didn't have a marketing budget. And so we relied on different nonprofits who already had mailing lists and websites.
Good idea. I love
it
that.
Was kind of, out of necessity that we didn't have a budget at all.
Yeah.
So in 12 and a half years, we'll be, let's see, we opened in 2010, and we have given away at this moment over $2,300,000 to local nonprofits in our Seacoast area within a 20-mile radius. I mean,
oh my gosh,
we've given
that's
to
amazing.
Over 150 different nonprofits. I mean, who knew there were even so many in this area?
We know, right? we just had our 100th episode, the last one. So you're, I think, 101. And we were astonished when we started this whole process. We were just like, charities just kept falling into our lap, go, oh, you need to talk to this one and this one. And we're like, holy cow, where did all these, how did I not know about all of these before? But
It's
yeah, we've been-
fantastic, right? We live in an amazing place. We're very lucky.
We do. We do. And so in the beginning, we relied very heavily on our nonprofits to do all of our marketing for us and to bring in, have their people knock on neighbors' doors, get their cousins and aunts and uncles and friends to bring things in to help the month. But now that we've been around over 12 years, people have discovered who we are and what we do. And we don't have to work quite so hard to get those wonderful items in. We've given to so many different nonprofits who've told their families and friends and, you know, patrons and volunteers that it's really nice that people are automatically just bringing us very nice things. And they know that it's an amazing place to shop. So the store is always full of shoppers. You go in to buy something one day, and if you don't buy it right then when you see it, if you come in the next day, you know, it's probably gone and there's something else in its place. There's just such an amazing turnover in order to do the amount of, you know, money that we do to give out to these organizations. You just, it's big turnover.
That's great. So for somebody who hasn't been in your store, which sounds like they would be a minority in this situation, but
there are plenty still. It's amazing how many people I talk to.
But tell us about the experience when you walk in, like what kinds of items and like what's your market? Like who clothes, toy, like there's a variety of things.
There's quite a variety of things. You walk in the door, and I think one of the first things that really strikes you is how colorful it is. Near the door when you come in, it's primarily our home goods. So there are, you know, shelves full of beautiful china sets and lamps and tchotchkes and pictures. And our manager, Ann Hunter, who's also our merchandiser, she arranges these things by color so that everything complements each other. So she'll do a whole display of greens and browns together, and you'll walk around a corner and there'll be, you know, pinks and blues, and it's just a feast for the eyes when you walk in. Everything's so beautiful. She calls out things that, you know, that have chips or might be broken. You won't see those things here. It's just the most beautiful things that people bring in. And then you walk around the corner and we've got our register with lovely jewelry cases. We've probably got 15 feet of jewelry cases of wonderful shined up, lovely displayed jewelry items. And then continue further into the store. We've got women's wear, which are there again, they're displayed by color and size. So it's easy to go to just what you'd like. We'll have displays of holiday dresses or nice fall sweaters and things up on the walls, racks, you know, beautiful displays of hats. If you're into vintage things and you love hats, then you'll find them there. We have a wonderful small men's department. Men tend to wear out their clothes, but we've got a wonderful, what is there is just beautiful. And you can try things on. We've got 3 dressing rooms. We've got shoes. We've got a book nook with lots of lovely bestsellers and colorful children's books that are displayed just like a bookstore. We've got an art nook. We sell a lot of art. And we've got a trends department for teenagers and young adults with things that are, you know, really, really on trend for today. We've got some wonderful employees that have made, just really made a science out of brands. They know the brands and they know where to put them and what, you know, who it's going to be, you know, attractive to. And it's just fun for everyone.
It is a blast. It's one of my favorite places to go, just to find it. It's such an adventure every time you're there.
Every time. We have people who go almost every day. We have other people that go maybe 3 times a week. It might be a stop that they make every day after work or during their lunch hour. People tell us all the time that it's their happy place. They go there to unwind and just walk around. We have a wonderful sound system. So there's always, you know, wonderful music playing to just bebop around the store. And you'll probably see someone you know when you're in there.
That's awesome. So how do people, if someone does have stuff they want to donate, what's the process for that?
If it's nice clothing, all they have to do is bring it in during any of our work hours. Just come in through the front door and just announce that, oh, I have some things, if it's a whole carload, come on in and just let someone know and they'll meet you at one of the back doors. If it's anything big, or, it's always best to call the store first and they'll give you a contact to send a picture, because we are a curated store, we don't take recliners and, larger sofas and huge buffets. They're just too heavy to carry around. So little end tables and club chairs, side tables, smaller bureaus, things like that. We do a good trade in. And as far as books are concerned, we'll just make sure that they're not old musty books or encyclopedias. That basically, once you come into our store and see what it is we sell, you would kind of know, like, oh, okay, all right, well, I know what to bring here now. And it's not my smelly old stained things. I'll bring my better things here, so that they can be put out on the floor. We like I said, we do cull, and we depending on, it's been difficult with the pandemic, but we have someone who comes and brings things to different spots at homeless shelters, and we have the Salvation Army and Planet Aid that come with trucks to pick up things that somebody else might be able to use but might not be suitable for our store. It might be too dated as far as clothing, or something that's chipped or stained. Somebody else might like them, but it's not something that we would put out on our floor. So it is really a different niche than most of the thrift stores that you'll find.
Which is great that you sort things out that way, because people will know when they walk in the door that, whatever is there is going to be something that's in good shape, and
yeah,
they'll be proud.
It'll be very nicely displayed. And another benefit of all of that is that people have come in and said, oh, I understand how you treat things, and they will bring their very special person who, might have passed away. We had a man who had a wife who was very well dressed, and she passed away, and he wanted to bring us her things because he knows that we'll display them nicely, and they'll go to someone who really will find it special, and it will, be a good amount of money that will go to a nice nonprofit and come back to the community.
Is there anything that we've missed as far as things that you do there? Because I can't imagine what else there would be, but just to
well, from the beginning, it was in our mission statement that we're a spot for volunteers as well. We have a lot of wonderful volunteers that work with us, as well as our staff members. We want people to know that we pay our staff very well, that we're not going to contribute to the issue of people needing to have assistance. And so we pay our staff very well, and we treat them very nicely. And our volunteers, it's a place for them to come and find fellowship. that, you know, it's one of the reasons that we're open on Saturdays or Sundays rather, and many holidays is because our volunteers, they're lonely on those days. If they're a widow, Sundays can be a very lonely day. And so they come in and they work and they feel a part of something. And we couldn't do without them. So we feel like there's another side to the whole giving money to nonprofits, and it's a community of people who work there.
Love that. So if somebody's looking to get more information on the store and everything about that, where would they go? What's your website, and what are the social media?
We have
Muted.
we have a website. It's thefabulousfind.org. And we have a Facebook page, and that's The Fabulous Find, Kittery, Maine. So you should be able to find us fairly easily. And we have, if you're a nonprofit, you can come in and pick up an application if you'd like us to consider having you part of a month. And we wait 2 years between, if you've already, if we've already partnered with you, just have to wait 2 years till you're considered again. And we don't give to political organizations or religious organizations or individuals. It's just nonprofits that are, non-affiliated with those things.
Well, that's great. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. Both Lisa and I love your store, so this was a fun one for us, but
Great.
thank you so much.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for having me.